Hello again, and welcome to the 7th video of the Advanced Setup and Settings training video series. This video is all about phone settings. Now, the phone settings is really where a lot of the magic is happening in the system. You need a phone number to make and receive calls and send text messages, and so that should be one of the first things that you want to set up. There are a couple of ways to be able to receive inbound calls. One is covered, we've covered already a couple of times. That is the basic phone settings, which is found inside of the profile settings area. And then also the more advanced settings, which will give you the ability to set up your very own business phone system. That is going to give you the ability to have things like greetings and phone menus, and you can provide the caller an option to receive a text message from you, an opt-in via text, and a whole lot of other things. We're going to be covering those features, which is found inside of call flows, in a different video. In this video, we're going to focus primarily on all of the phone settings, which will show you how to purchase a phone and assign the call flows and a whole lot of other things like that. So let's go ahead and dive in. And I'm going to start on the right-hand side here, and we're going to move over towards the left. So the first thing you'll notice here is the dialing region, and this account is automatically approved for USA and Canada. If there are additional regions that you'd like to get approved for, you would need to request those. So when you send the request, support will be able to approve those for you, and once those are approved, then you'll be able to start making phone calls in those areas. The next thing is the call recording protection. Now, call recording protection is set up if you have a team and you don't want everybody on your team to be able to have access to the call recordings, and that includes voicemails without a password, then you would have this enabled. By default, it is enabled, so if you would like to come in and turn that off, you just go into call recording protection and select disabled. You can also change your password to a different password if you'd like, and share that with your team. Next is spam lookup. Now, spam lookup is going to allow you to do two things. The first thing is it's going to allow you to check the reputation of your own numbers that you own in either My Phone numbers or in your local presence numbers, as well as it's going to allow you to block incoming spam that's coming to your phone numbers that you own. So, for example, if somebody calls you and their number is a known spammer, then they'll automatically be blocked from you receiving that phone call. So it's very handy. Now, in order to turn this on, it's off by default. You'll just need to select to turn these on. So like I said, by default, they're going to be off. You'll just turn them on, and then you'll select the options or the features that you'd like to enable. So just by checking these boxes, you could turn them all on. Now, there's two different services that we are utilizing. One is Nomorobo, and the second is TrueSpam. Nomorobo and TrueSpam are two well-known databases that manage spammers, and so they're very accurate. If you do actually see your phone number showing up on Nomorobo or TrueSpam, you can reach out to Nomorobo or TrueSpam to let them know if it's a false positive. Next is your extensions. These extensions are actually enabled. You can set those up inside of the profile for each user. Block numbers are numbers that you would like to block. So if you add them, you can also import a list of numbers that you'd like to block from being able to call you. There are also areas inside the system. For example, if you are in the voicemails or the missed calls, there is an option in those areas to add a number to the blocked list. So if it's a call that came in from a spammer and they left you a message, you'd be able to put them in the block area. LP numbers are numbers that you own that are local presence related. There are some additional settings inside of the local presence area, which we'll cover in another video. Get numbers. This is the place where you're able to get your numbers, where you'll be able to purchase numbers, and you can select regular numbers or toll-free numbers as well. There's also a call flow settings where you'll be able to set up call flows, and those call flows are customizable to do pretty much anything that you can imagine within a business phone setting, a business phone system setup. Next is SIM numbers. So you have the ability to connect your Android device and send text messages from the system using your Android phone. To be able to do that, you would have to go into the integration setting and connect your Android device. And that takes us back to My Numbers. Now, inside of My Numbers, these are the numbers that you own. You can change the names of the phones that you own. Once you've verified your business information, which we cover the A to P and business registration in a different phone or in a different video, but once you've done that, you will also have the ability to set up your own caller ID name. So you can set the caller ID under the action wheel here, the very bottom. Just select caller ID name and you can type in your caller ID. Just keep in mind it's a limited amount of digits that you can enter in there. Now, the next column here is your spam results. You have the Nomorobo spam results and the true spam results. Here it shows you how many of your numbers are clean versus spam. And you'll see in red once you have been blocked. Once you are blocking calls. So the spam blocker is calls that you're blocking, and caller ID reputation is showing whether or not when you've checked your numbers, if it's showing up as spam. So in order to check your numbers, you just select this check all numbers and it will automatically check those numbers, and if they show up as spam, then you will see the indicator turn red, and then you can take care of that. A couple things to keep in mind: if a number does show up as spam inside of local presence, by default, it will automatically move them to a cooldown list, which is really set up for you to do number remediation, and we'll cover that again in another video. Now, here under the action items, there are a few other things that you want to be familiar with. The phone purchase log shows you when you purchase the phone, and also any monthly or how long you've been paying for it. So it'll just show you that information there. On top of that, you have the ability to lock or unlock a number. So if it's in use inside of other campaigns and you want to clear that up, you can select unlock and it will free that number up to be used in some other area. For example, if you're using it in a profile for another user inside of another team member account and you want to unlock it and use it for somebody else, you would do that here. Moving to local presence and sharing to local presence. There are two options here at your fingertips. So if you're going to use the number inside of local presence, the best option is to just share the number into local presence, because when you share the number into local presence, the number is going to stay here inside of your phone list, and that will give you the ability to customize the call flow setting. So if you'd like to have a specific call flow setting for each individual number, then you would want to just share your number to local presence. However, if you don't have a problem with having one specific call flow for all of your local presence, then you can move the number into the local presence pool. And when you do that, then inside of the local presence area, there's an option to select which campaign will be the default campaign for all of those numbers. Now, we will go into more detail on that in another video, but it's just something to keep in mind. Sharing versus moving those numbers. Moving takes them out of this area and puts the number into local presence, and it takes away the feature that you will have which will allow you to apply the call flows. And if you want to have that feature available, then you need to keep it inside of My Numbers. And if you want to use this number still for local presence, you'll want to share it to local presence. Next is notification settings. Notification settings is really for the manager. If you do not want to receive notifications that come in for a phone number, for example, let's say that number is specifically for one of your team members and you don't want to receive the text messages that are coming in, all of those notifications. If you disable them, then you'll no longer receive those notifications up here. But by default, you have access to see all notifications that are coming in, all text messages and all voicemails inside of the system. So that is it for this video. We're not going to go over these other features because we're going to cover them in a separate video, and that is how to set your phone system up, or how to set up a call flow and actually set up the more advanced business phone system. All right, so that's it for this video. We'll see you in the next video.